Good morning folks, how the devil are you today? My name is Richard Oliver and down here at Leo Carrillo Beach again doing some painting. I've brought a new setup today which I'm really excited to show you. It's a lightweight setup that sort of meets the in-between my real lightweight Yugo box and my medium size. It's got a bunch of different features which I really like. I can fit it into my backpack. It takes up less space within my pack and my bag, so that's a real nice feature. I'll show you as we go along, but today my goal is to paint less of a vista, more of a detail shot. So I'm just on the hunt right now, just looking around to see if there's anything here, right there, that would make a good composition. And once I'm set up, I'll check back in with you. All right, excellent. So what I'm loving about this easel is it's just these two sections here. Obviously you need to take a tripod with you, but that's it. There's no flat box, but it's heavy duty enough to hold those big canvases, but small enough in terms of packaging just to fit in a backpack. So that's what's really exciting about this. I like to have a fairly wide palette space, and I'm finding that having to take a larger palette box limits the space in my bag. So what I've combined this with is the easel itself, the panel holder, and I'm going to start trying to use this Masterson sealed palette which sits on top. This allows me to keep my paint usable for a longer period of time. I can use New Wave's Posh palettes inside this because they are designed for that as well. Or I can use some disposable paper palettes, and ultimately, like I say, it keeps my paint wet. If I do want to touch up the painting when I get back to the studio, I can, and it fits in my bag. And this being plastic is pretty lightweight and relatively small for packing, but large enough to actually use as a palette space. So let me set up and show you how it looks. I won't go into too much detail about how to set it up because you can find all that information on the website. But this is how it looks, and this is why I really like it. I can get my panel to be eye level and line up with the subject. It's going to make it a lot easier to match those colors. And then I've got this fairly substantial working space here on the top of the palette holder. And I put a little bit of Velcro just to keep it on there. But ultimately, that's how it works. It clamps onto your tripod, and then it has two poles coming out, and then with a little bit of Velcro, which I've stuck to the bottom as well, that's going to stay in place when I work. I've also got the leather caddy, which is my brush holder and my brush wash pot, which I'll set up now and show you as well. But I'm really excited. It's so small, it's pretty lightweight, but like I say, this section here, there's a second pole which I don't need today because I'm using such a small panel, but there's a second pole which allows you to take out those canvases maybe 24-inch in their height. So I'm pretty stoked on this setup. Like I say, it's really lightweight. For now I'm using this disposable grey palette. I've got my paints laid out in the end there. This is that caddy I was talking about. It clamps onto your gear. There's enough room in the brush holder for all of my Richard Oliver Rosemary brush set. And then you've got a plastic Turpenoid or OMS holder. There was some discussion as to whether or not the plastic would last, but I did some research and I spoke to Eddie. He said he has no problem with it at all. So I'm pretty much set up, ready to go. I'm thrilled with that setup. This is my first time using it, and I'm excited to take it when I go backpacking or when space is limited. It allows me to pack more efficiently, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Today I'm out here just kind of painting this ocean scene. My goal is really just to maybe paint this section here, maybe a couple of the foreground rocks, catch those shadows before they disappear. The sun's moving across the sky this way, so, and I think the swell is picking up. So I might have some interesting experiences today. We'll see. I mean, it's a decent sized wave. I'm toying with the idea of putting up my umbrella because currently there isn't a lot of wind. and I've just picked up a white umbrella with a white interior just to diffuse the light on my palette and my panel itself. But I don't want to get caught out with the wind, and I certainly don't want this new gear to go flying off the edge of the cliff, so I'll think about that. I'll see if it affects me. Alright, I'll check in a second. Hello again, and sorry for the audio quality. I'm just checking in with you, showing you where I'm at. I decided today to go for a straight value study underneath, grisaille, using pre-mixed greys from my warm primaries. So this is a warm grey, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 values plus white, and I decided to get my value study done straight away onto the white, so I didn't put a ground down. I just built it up using those 4 values so that it matches what I see there. Hopefully it was thin enough that when I start putting color on it, it's not going to saturate the paint or desaturate the paint too much. But my goal was really to get the values right so that I could start adding these blues. And because the scene there aren't any particularly bright colors in that scene, hopefully I can bring the saturation in with some moderation and match those colors pretty good. So that's where I'm at right now. It took me maybe 30 minutes to get this value study done, and then I'll start coloring it. I'll probably mix up a sub palette to get those colors on. Painting itself, it was okay. Yeah, I had a couple of mishaps, as I mentioned. The usual kind of stuff that you get when you go plein air painting on the beach, on the rocks. The wind picked up at around 10 o'clock. I couldn't use my umbrella, which made it a little bit challenging, and then with the easel blowing, the actual paper palette blowing off was very frustrating. But I got it done. I'm pretty stoked on it. I'll take it back to my studio now, have a little look at it. Hopefully it doesn't need any work in the studio, but yeah, beautiful opportunity to come down to the beach, plein air painting here at Leo Carrillo in Malibu. I am spoiled, and I think I'm just gonna lay back here and have a little nap. So I'll catch you next time, guys. All right, take care, have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.